Thank you for joining us as we loop around the state of Florida, taking our new Brinkley 3610 on its maiden voyage. We take you to several nice parks and show you a few interesting things at each location. At its core, RV life is about traveling and reconnecting with nature. In Florida, this means coming across alligators, and because it is Florida, there will be the unexpected inhabitants as well. There will be miles of soft white sand beaches and unforgettable sunsets. We will touch upon how Florida maintains those beaches after the yearly hurricane season relocates those beautiful greens. And because this is Florida, there will be something of interest for everyone. For those explorers looking to the skies, we take you to Kennedy Space Center and catch a few rockets being launched. We finish this loop on the Gulf Coast shores of Alabama, where we stretch our legs on the pickleball courts and get reacquainted.
You want more, don't you? You want more?
Really? You want more? How about a floating Christmas parade? We have packed a lot into this video, so grab a hot cup of joe. It's time to relax, and for us to hit the road.
Oh boy, now for a real good west.
Our first stop is an in-between hop, and I think the owner-operators understand this about their location.
G'day. Want a cold one?
The owners are lost Aussies who, perhaps have a broken-down car out back somewhere, have brought their own unique outlook on life and put it on display here. We only spend a few days here. We find it's not all that it's quacked up to be. Getting reservations at any of the Florida state parks is quite challenging. We were able to grab this spot when the park closed due to recent hurricanes and in turn canceled all their existing reservations. It didn't take long after they opened up to sell out once again. Stop number 2 into the Florida heat.
Patty goes inside and says hello.
You could rightly assume you will find manatees at a park with Manatee in its name, but you won't. The lake was created when a dam was built across the Manatee River in the mid-60s. Despite its name, manatees aren't present because the dam blocks their getting into the lake.
Yeah, you know you're back in Florida, don't you? You got to look out for alligators.
Coming across the unexpected animal is always one of the most pleasant and memorable events within our travels. Here we find a gopher tortoise, a very important creature inhabiting Florida. It is so important that it is considered a keystone species, and it is one of the oldest living on the planet.
It's really a nice park.
It is once again time for us to lift off and move on to another location. Today's travel continues our progress along the southwestern coast of Florida. We pass around Tampa, and following Route 75, we pass by Sarasota and Fort Myers, where we reach the northernmost extent of the Everglades. Departing 75, we made a hard left turn onto the Everglades Parkway. We stay on the Everglades Parkway and reach the eastern side of Florida, ending up in the suburbs of Miami. We normally avoid traveling into metropolitan areas with the RV. However, road conditions into this park are very manageable, even for our big rig. The park, C.B. Smith, is a late addition to this trip, and we only spend 2 nights at this wonderful park. It is a massive complex that seems to provide everything, including water skiing, pickleball, hiking trails, swimming, and most of all, camping. The C.B. Smith Park is a massive 299-acre complex that seems to offer every sort of physical pursuit imaginable. The upshot of this is that roads seem to go every which way, which means you can easily find yourself going the wrong way, which we did. Upon entering the park, we got ourselves into a bit of a jam as we pulled into a closed-off street and had to retreat by backing out into the main traffic path. As you might imagine, we didn't take the time to video this fun. Because this was a late addition to our plans, we only managed to reserve a 2-night stay. Because our time is so short, we are greatly limited in what we can explore within the park and in the surrounding area. However, we quickly discovered this is someplace that seems to offer something for everyone. The lovely sunsets reinforce our intent to return here again in the future. Departing C.B. Smith, we make a 200-mile trek north to Florida's fabled Space Coast, stopping at Manatee Hammock Campground, from which we have an outstanding view of the rockets being launched from Kennedy Space Center. We set aside a week for Manatee Hammock Campground, as there is so much to see and do here. Most significant to the location is that it is ideal for visiting Kennedy Space Center. A short drive from our park over the NASA Causeway Bridge puts us on Cape Canaveral and at the Kennedy Space Center complex. This is someplace I've wanted to visit for a long time. As I already mentioned, the fishing pier at our park looks directly upon the 39th launch pad. This is used by SpaceX to send up a large number of their rockets. Even short travel days are quite tiring. Typically, our arrival day plans are just to get set up and have a look around the park, which is what we do on this day.
See, look. Stop moving.
Oh yeah! Wow.
There, you see that?
Yes.
Oh, this one's little.
Oh my gosh.
This got little teeth.
He does, doesn't he?
We've caught them that it's literally two fangs like a
Really?
beaver.
Wow.
I'm stunned.
I don't know what to make of this. Is it funny or scary? Tell me what you think in the comments. As noted already, we have a busy week planned, and one of the places we visit is Canaveral National Seashore. As you may have guessed from the name, the National Park Service manages this location, making our first stop the Apollo Visitor Center. From information we gather here, we decide to check out three things: the Turtle Mounds, the seashore, and the El Dorado State House. As a bonus, there's a bit of walking involved with each location, which we enjoy doing.
So this was a village? That's what it says. The community of Eldora typified development in Florida in the late 19th century. So it said it was a small community up to about 250 people that once warranted enough to have a post office.
Eldora is not unlike other small towns of the past, in that it has its own unsolved mysteries. Before you is a well that is far deeper than is required, and to this day no one understands why this is so, or what purpose it may have served, beyond simply providing water to go so deep. Eldora experienced its peak in settlement between the years 1877 and 1898, serving as both an agricultural community and as a steamboat stop on the east coast of the Florida Passage. In 1898, the railroad arrived, and soon passengers transitioned away from the steamboat to the faster rail car. For the next 40 years, the area served as a hunting and fishing lodge. Thereafter, slowly declining as vacationers shifted their interest to other activities within Florida. The region's agriculture was mainly orange groves, and when the Great Freeze of 1894 and 95 arrived, killing most of the crops, the bankrupt farmers departed, leaving the community nearly abandoned. It is in this area that Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon first set foot on U.S. soil in the year 1513. His arrival coincided with Easter week, hence giving Florida its name, Pascua Florida. Translated, this means Feast of Flowers. The Carica 1913 State House is the best example of what earlier life along the Mosquito Lagoon was like. Departing Eldora, we next head to the seashore. To gain access, we have to take a short walk across the boardwalk. It is very interesting to see how different the beach sand on the Atlantic side is from that of the Gulf side of Florida. Turning around to leave, we find keys on the railing. Someone would probably drop them in the sand, and
But like you said, honey, that makes for a bad day.
Yep.
Kennedy Space Center, named in honor of its founding visionary, was a view announced by then-President Kennedy in May of 1961. It was a response to the success of the Soviet Union space race. The public was informed of the initiative in August of 1962 in the President's moon speech at Rice University.
Why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Checking their bags. Uh-oh.
No matter which park pass you choose, you will have spent a sizable amount. To avoid exhausting yourself and becoming frustrated, we recommend that before you arrive, review the information on the Kennedy Space Center website and decide what you want to see and what activities, if any, you want to do. We also recommend deciding which areas of the park you will spend your time and then the order to visit each area. Once you have a plan, first head to the information center and get a map or two of the park. You won't be sorry that you chose to do this. I have to say, most of the content that's available is from NASA's heyday, which means it's from the 60s and the staging and the information. It's a bit stale when compared to locations like the 9/11 Memorial or the OKC Memorial. The drama just doesn't come across. I was, however, impressed with NASA retaining the actual control room used to launch the rockets and how a launch sequence was replayed.
Final reports coming from Frank Borman at this time. Final look at the switch list aboard the spacecraft. 20 seconds, all aspects, we are still low at this time. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Mission sequence start. The engines are on. 4, 3.
If you were watching closely, the rocket fired for a long period of time before it began to rise. This was a hard lesson learned by NASA. The solution they came up with was to hold the rocket in place for a period of time after ignition so that the engines can develop the necessary thrust to lift the rocket and continue upward. Their solution was to attach multiple arms to the rocket, and at the critical junction in time, they were simultaneously decoupled from the rocket, freeing it to lift.
Look at that thing. It's huge. Whoa.
It seems that just about everything we experience in life today is getting smaller. Well, other than our grocery bills, I guess. Rockets are going the other direction and keep getting bigger. If you do choose to visit here, be sure to spend a little time in the rocket garden. The early rockets are noticeably smaller and far weaker than any of the rockets deployed today. By comparison, SpaceX's, their latest rocket, the Starship, is the biggest and most powerful ever created. It clocks in at 400 feet tall, weighs more than 11 million pounds, and produces more than double the thrust of NASA's workhorse rocket, the Saturn V. The Saturn V produced about 7.5 million pounds of thrust to SpaceX's 17 million pounds of thrust at launch. What's really amazing is that NASA's latest rocket, called the SLS, will cost over $4 billion per launch, while the SpaceX Starship will cost closer to $2 million per launch. Sounds like a bargain.
door there, we could walk directly into the middle of the building, look up, and see the roof on this 52-story, one-story building. Now the smaller 4-story white building that's attached to the vehicle assembly building, this is a launch control center. If you notice the chain link fence going around the VAB, you'll notice it comes up from the ground and then curves out. This is to keep alligators out. An alligator can climb a chain link fence.
Wow.
So they put an arch there at the top of it, so if an alligator does decide to climb up on it, well, it'll just fall on its back. And these fences are around every major...
Construction of the VAB was completed in 1966. Since then, every Saturn V rocket was assembled within it. A completed rocket is rolled out of one of 4 bays within the building on a mobile launcher. The mobile launcher rides upon the crawler transporter. The crawler slides up under the launcher, lifts it and the rocket, and transports it to the pad. Once at the pad, the launcher is set into place and the transport extracts itself. Transportation time from the vat to the launcher pad, 4 miles away, takes 8 hours. If you're like me and wonder why the mobile launcher isn't destroyed by the rocket blasting off, the pad is covered in blast pads, as well as the surface is soaked in water at the time of launch.
The highlight of our time at Titusville occurred right from within our own RV park. We walk out to the end of the fishing pier and can watch the rockets be launched from Launch Pad 39C. This is the one used by SpaceX, and they are frequently launching their rockets. Typically, this is their biggest, the Falcon 9 variant. That is cool. You think our truck burns gas, huh? Oh, looking into the sky. That was cool.
Continuing our northern progression, Renegades on the River is a true destination park, located at the northern end of a sparsely populated region known as Crescent City, Florida. It meets the requirements of a destination park, in that it provides everything you'll need, including restaurants, entertainment, and relaxation facilities. The park is well organized and friendly in size, not large, but also not small, rather comfortable. The facilities are modern and the grounds manicured. But the real reason its patrons come back, time and again, is for the warm camaraderie and the live entertainment offered here. The park's modest beginning as a place shared by the owners with a couple of friends who enjoyed boating and RVing is retained in the establishment's operating practices today. Because this is Florida, you will come across the signs of local humor and zest for life ever present here, as well as occasionally captured by a news outlet or two. Not lost within the mix of merriness is, of course, the presence of an alligator or two, an ever-present theme within this sunshine state. While we chose not to play with the alligators, we did choose to knock it around for a while on the pickleball court and closed out the days by taking in the lovely sunsets here. Our time at the Renegades is up, and with that we depart the Atlantic side of Florida and return to the Gulf side. We are headed to St. Andrews State Park, a very desirable park located near Panama City. Although we couldn't get a reservation for today, so we take a knee in the middle, stopping at Madison. The park we arrive at, the RV station, is a new one. Today is Thanksgiving, and the quick stop gives Patty more time to prepare our turkey meal. Yes, the oven in the Brinkley is large enough to cook a small turkey breast. The next day, we are again traveling west. Today's path takes us over and around an area of Florida known as the Big Bend. The region was the area that recently absorbed 2 major hurricanes. St. Andrews is only a few miles from where the Eye of Helen hit the state. Needless to say, the impact was substantial. However, Florida is no stranger to these storms, and they have performed tirelessly to restore functionality. The main RV road is open, and we travel along it to reach our spot at the very end of the park. Hurricane Helene came ashore on September 26 as a Category 4 hurricane, centered on the Big Bend. Just a month after Hurricane Debbie passed through only a few miles to the northwest. It goes without saying the region has suffered adversely, hence the recovery and rebuilding sites all along the roadway.
With one horn.
Oh my God. Oh, look at his tiny horn. That was a cute one there because it had just one
Makes
horn.
me wonder, how do the birds and the animals weather these hurricanes? They can't really leave the area.
I need a one.
The grass is always greener in the neighbor's spot. That is, unless that's elk or bison or some other creature that'll prevent you from stepping out of your RV.
The storm hit this place pretty hard. They're having to redo everything. Look at all that.
The damage from the storms goes beyond what our eyes can see, which is the downed and broken trees and roads that were completely washed away. The storm surge pulled the beach sands, taking it back into the main waterways. The equipment here is a part of the dredging work that the state is doing to restore both the beaches as well as the boating lanes.
Wonder how this dredging works. I mean, it goes way around to the other side. What is pulling it?
Not knowing the answer to how dredging works, I went to YouTube and found an excellent video on the process. I'll post a link below in the description to this video. In brief, the work is a combination of onshore dozers and loaders creating pockets of sand dams to collect the slurry of sand and seawater that is suctioned up by an offshore vessel and pushed through the massive pipes you see here. The slurry spills into the sand dams, allowing the water to escape and yet trapping the sand. The recovered sand is then smoothed into position by the dozers. Through these recovery efforts, I'm sure the beaches of St. Andrew will soon be restored to their formerly beautiful state. Leaving St. Andrews, we head across the state border to another location along the Gulf. This time, we end up in Gulf Shores Beach and the aptly named Gulf Shores RV Resort, a very nice park we have stayed at previously. We have very fond memories from our former stay here, and we get right back into the swing of things, knocking it around on the pickleball court. More than the park itself, though, both Patty and I are looking forward to seeing our old animal friends, the donkeys. During our prior stay, we would feed them apples and carrots. Knowing that donkeys are very intelligent, we hope that they remember us. It's hard to tell if they do, but they sure seem happy to see us.
Oh, it's running.
Hey, it's the boy running.
Hello, buddy.
Look at you. Hello.
Oh, hello, buddy.
Hello, buddy. Yay. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Yeah. You got so good.
I will come to you. There you go, sweetie. Hello.
You like that? Okay.
Yes.
Slow it down so we have more time together. Yeah. Good boy.
Which do you like better, the carrots or the apples?
Okay, this is like, oh, you don't have any more? They're so funny. Yeah, good boy.
You guys like your sweets, don't you?
Look here, he's like, this is so yummy. So yummy. Yes, it is. He's so yummy.
You were running today.
Good boy. Slow down. Let's have more time together. We gave you a bite.
Yeah.
Like, you think I don't have any more when I start petting. There you go, girl. There you go. Yeah, yummy. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Yeah. Hi there. You want more, don't you? You want more? Say. There we go. Awesome. You are doing good. Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. Good girl.
Yeah. I love those crosses. It's so cool. Yes.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
If you are still with us at this point, I must say that is impressive. I did say in the beginning, we put a lot into this video, and as such, it is incumbent upon me to say thank you to you for sharing your time with us. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. We do make these videos for you. As well, these actions inform the YouTube algorithm to offer it more frequently to others that may also share your interest in travel and RVing. You can as well share this video with others that you think may enjoy it as well. It is getting late, and it is still Christmas time here, so it is only appropriate that in conclusion, we present a bit of the Christmas parade that was promised earlier.
Sounds like you could tow a trailer, huh? Yes, it is.
In case you're wondering, no, it never did get organized.
Bye-bye.